Welcome to Zelda Speedruns. We have for you from the Breath of the Wild Any Percent Tournament 2025, qualifier number 6. On the main stage today, we have Harmjan, Trevor, Frozen, and Cleves. And I'm going to pass it over to our commentary team of Cloud and Moist. Take it away, you two.
All right, welcome in everybody. We're super excited to be hosting you on comms today for the Breath of the Wild Any Percent Tournament qualifier number 6. We've got a packed race room today. A bunch of exciting and very talented gamers are going to be showing off their skills today. And I've got with me Mr. Moist Goulash, my goat, on commentary.
Hello, hello. I'm excited for the race.
I forgot to do my Moist introduction. Hi, I'm Cloud, and I run this game. But yeah, I think we're just about ready to get started then. Let's check in on our racers. And we are off in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so we've got about a minute's worth of cutscene before time actually starts for the race here, and I guess we can use this time to explain a little bit about what we might be seeing today. So we've got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 racers, or 9 or 10 racers joining us today. We are only allowed to, or we can only show 4 on screen here, but we've got Harm, Trevor, Frozen, and Klebs. A strong representation from our French community coming out as a contingency for the race today. We love our French runners, and a lot of them are very skilled, and so we'll be getting to see some of them show off their stuff here today. But so, Moise, what do you think we can expect to see today from our Breath of the Wild race?
I think we can expect greatness.
I sure hope so.
There's quite a few top runners here, and I think we'll see some maybe potentially crazy strats.
I think so as well. You know, I wonder if anybody's going to go for Bomb's ESC. I think we'll see if anybody's got the guts or the folly perhaps to go for that. But anyways, if you guys aren't familiar with a Breath of the Wild Any Percent speedrun, this is a breakneck speed, lightning fast run. We're going to be zooming through the Great Plateau and then immediately heading to Castle at the end to take down the boss rush and Calamity Ganon, finishing off with Dark Beast. This is not an easy speedrun by any means, but these guys are going to make it look easy. I can guarantee that. But yeah, so we're coming to the end of our qualifiers for the Any Percent tournament, and then this is just to set seeds for the bracket to come, which will be next week, I believe.
Yep.
So this clip right here, we're going to see our runners lining up in the corner and spamming the scope button. This is just what we call a scope clip to get out of the Shrine of Resurrection early. Not only does this skip a couple minutes worth of cutscenes and kind of just a slow walking sequence, but it also allows us to freeze the time of day cycle. So we won't get any of those annoying stall enemies that pop up at night trying to bother us.
I see Trevor getting it quite fast.
Very quick from Trevor there. But our other 3 runners on screen not far behind. So our first objective, if you're familiar with the game, you know, we've got 4 shrines on the Great Plateau we're going to have to rush through to get off the Great Plateau. Now to get there, we're going to be heading to the Bomb Shrine first, and we'll explain why later. But we're going to grab a couple pieces of equipment here on the way, a pot lid, and either a torch or a spear. Now, which one you grab of the torch or the spear is kind of luck dependent, but there is a manip that you can do to get the torch. And I guess we can see from who's getting the torch who's going to be going for a specific difficult wind bomb later, potentially.
Dirigiti al luogo segnato sulla mappa della tua tavoletta sceicca.
It's kind of nice how all the things that we need are like lined up in a straight line.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah. Kind of.
So the shield, in addition to surfing, we can also do what's called a shield clip right there. We saw Trevor get in very quick. So when we do a little shield surf on that slope there, it stores that angle in what we call skew. And if you unequip your shield mid-jump, that skew frame can actually clip you right through the wall.
And here we're going to be doing the same thing to clip into the bomb shrine because we did not get the tower, which means we can't activate the terminal to enter through the front door. So
very quick slide and entry by Trevor there. Very impressive work. Oh, looks like Klebs landed a bit early, and unfortunately he's going to get this extra cutscene with the Guardian waking up. And a bit of a laser spotting, so let's hope he can get out of there quickly. But it looks like all our 4 runners on screen here have now entered into the bomb shrine. And we're going to be seeing another, what would you call it? Infamous? Or I guess just famous, trick in Breath of the Wild speedruns called a wind bomb. Basically what we're going to see here, and a lot of the reason why we come to the bomb shrine first, not just because it's closest to where we exit the beginning of the game, but the bombs are so useful for these movement glitches you're going to be seeing here in the run today. By abusing the slow-mo bullet time mechanic that you get when you pull out your bow mid-air, as you see on Trevor's screen here, he's going to drop 2 bombs in quick succession, launch the first one, and just rocket himself straight to the end of the shrine. Well, almost.
Almost.
But there's why he grabbed those backup peppers to survive the fall, and just a quick backup from him. That's a very tough wind bomb. In my opinion, it's one of the most difficult in the run, is the first one you see here. We see Harm on the top left there going for a bit of an easier wind bomb. That sends you halfway across, and then you can do a slide.
We see no gamers today.
Yep, everybody's gonna go for the backup. And I think everybody grabbed peppers too, right? Or maybe Kleb skipped them, I can't tell. But just like that, everybody's through the end of the first shrine. So now something to mention in terms of our tournament format here is generally top level runs are performed by scanning amiibo to get fish for backup food and also to cook attack food for the boss rush. However, for our qualifiers, every runner is forced to run the no amiibo route, which is a bit different. It's about 30 to 40 seconds slower on average. And it does also require that you play a little bit more cleanly on Great Plateau because you don't have as much backup food. So normally we'd be seeing some of our runners would scan here, but they're just going to be heading straight to the next shrine. And we'll be picking up some extra food once we get off the Great Plateau. But now that we're finally in a bit of a dialogue sequence here, now would be probably a good time to explain what that crazy wiggle bomb slide trick we saw earlier was. If Moise, you want to explain what BLSS is for us?
Yeah, so bow lift smuggle slide, BLSS. Basically, if we pick up a bow and the bomb at the same time, we smuggle both. And for some reason, the next time Link steps up on a ledge or anything, the game just ignores gravity and Link can just slide by wiggling. However, there are 2 ways to kill a slide, either by letting go of the B button or letting the stick go neutral. So we want to avoid that so that we don't drop the slide. Otherwise, that causes a lot of time loss.
Great explanation. And like Moise mentioned, we're going to be clipping into every single one of these shrines. So we're going to see our runner set up a new skew on the side here and then go for a clean clip out of bounds and then back in bounds.
I think getting the tower is like 1:30 or something like that. So yeah, definitely clipping in is much faster.
Yep, and here we also might see a little bit of divergent strats for the Magnesis Shrine here. This ability, we're not going to be seeing it very much. We're going to be using... we're definitely going to see some of our runners go for a wind bomb to skip to the end. There's one you can do from down here called the Canal Wind Bomb. It looks like Trevor's going to line that up for us. Very nice, very nice. Now there's the question of surviving the fall. Oh, and he got a ragdoll cancel. Very lucky as well. Very quick mag shrine by Trevor. But you can also just run through the shrine and shield jump over the gaps, which actually is not that much slower.
Yeah, most of these wind bombs inside these shrines are like 4 to 7 seconds, something like that. However, the difficulty is quite high.
Definitely. And even in terms of the wind bomb that we see there are varying levels of speed and difficulty as well. The one I normally go for is just a couple seconds slower, but a bit easier. And now we're going to see Kleb's missed the wind bomb, so he's going to be running through, and Harm's running through as well. Now, we're going to see Harm blowing himself up, potentially. Yeah, and that's just to prepare himself for the next wind bomb that we're going to see after this slide coming up here. Speaking of the slide, incredibly clean by Trevor so far on the way to Stasis. This is one of the most complex movement portions of the run. Oh, unfortunately, he dropped the slide.
That's what we meant by going neutral.
quick backup here. This is a very skilled and experienced long-time runner. Just getting up the cliff to stasis. This is going to save a lot of time over having to climb up the cliff and waiting for stamina. But it can also be a bit finicky. Clean. First try by Trevor there. But yeah, this slide right here that we're seeing some of our little valley there and under the bridge, it's very easy to get stuck, as we saw from Trevor and some of our other runners here trying to navigate around all these trees and rocks like a pinball machine.
Frozen got
Bouncing
it
off
pretty
every
well.
which way. Oh, looks like Harm accidentally had the wrong rune equipped. Good thing he noticed that before blowing up the bomb, so he's going to give himself a quick second try here for Treatment Bomb. And speaking of Wind Bomb, here's another one from Trevor. This is another top level Wind Bomb inside the shrine here from the bridge. Very precise. You want to make sure you don't go too low or also too high, because you could bounce off the roof and fall in the pit right there. There's very little kind of safety guardrails for that one, so very impressive first try by Trevor. And he is moving through the plateau at breakneck speed. So coming up for Trevor here on our top right, I'm thinking he's probably going to be going for Cliff Wind Bomb, which is one of the most difficult in the entire run. If he's got the backup food for it, he might. We'll see here. Oh, just barely short. It looks like he's gonna just go for the backup strat here, which is a stasis launch with this boulder that we'll probably be seeing our runners that grab the spear go for as well. You gotta be careful with this one because grabbing the torch is quicker at the beginning, but it's also tighter on durability, so you want to make sure that you get in clean hits on that boulder there like Trevor did. And in stasis here, oh, unfortunate wind bomb by Klebs there, unlucky bounce on the bottom right of your screen. He's gonna have to retry that one. And we'll see Harm running through as well. There's a neat trick you can do that you'll see on your top left. By unequipping your shield mid-jump, it gives you just a little bit of extra distance, which is just barely enough to clear that gap. And another difficult wind bomb from Trevor here. Very quick. Now he's going to be going for a different kind of clip than we've seen before for this last try and cry out. This is what we call an extended shield clip, or evil stupid clip, as I like to call it. This requires a frame perfect input there that he just nailed quicker than I could even explain the trick. My goodness.
Yeah, so this is a one frame trick to clip through the front door. Basically, the wall is has double collision, so a regular shield clip won't clip you through. But if you surf on a specific frame during the skew animation, you can clip through both sides.
This wind bomb inside a cryo is one of my favorites for sure. Trevor's gonna go for a bounce off the wall to land him right in front of the monk pedestal. Or right behind it. That works too. As long as you get over the railing, you're good to go. And that'll be all 4 shrines complete for Trevor in the top right of your screen here. As Harm making his way into cryo. Klebs fell a bit behind in stasis there, but he's gonna go for the launch here. Nice wind bomb from Frozen there on your bottom left.
You can see Harm trying to buffer this shield clip actually. So you can either try and hit the frame, or you can try and buffer it using the D-pad menu. However, the game doesn't let you buffer frame by frame, and rather 2 or 3 depending on how fast you are. So it's possible that you miss the frame. So it is hard. Sure.
It's definitely not as easy as Trevor made it look. So now on the way to the paraglider, Trevor's gonna ditch the torch. That's just to skip an extra weapon text pickup box thing. And now we'll be getting the paraglider. Trevor's reporting a 13:20 plat, which is a very, very good time for a no reset race. However, Frozen not far behind. He's also been blistering his way through plateau.
Yeah, so since this is no amiibo, we will be making a detour before we go to castle to get some mushrooms that will aid us in the fights.
And like we mentioned, this loses about 30 seconds or so, perhaps a bit less optimally, to scanning amiibo. And it also makes the approach into castle a bit more, this is subjective, but annoying, in my opinion. Because on the way to castle, the optimal route requires getting in there so fast that the gate on the lower level does not load in. So you can just walk right through it. Normally there's just a locked gate right there that you can't bypass. You can clip in or you can go around the back, both of which are quite a bit slower. And it seems that the approach to castle tends to load that gate a little bit more often when you're coming from this different angle that we see in No Amiibo. But yeah, we'll see Trevor grabbing these razor shrooms here. There's also some annoying enemies that pop up that you might have to deal with. There's a bit of a manip that you can do to kind of delay them from spawning in until you're able to make it out again.
He remembered, like, last second.
Good stuff. Yep, there they are, those chews. They can be very annoying when you're trying to set up BLSS and get your slide off. And now if you pay attention to Trevor on the top right of your screen here, we'll see he's going so fast that the game can't even load in as quickly as he can travel. And so it's going to attempt to load in as much of the castle as it can before he gets there. But for his sake, he's hoping that the gate doesn't load in. It's definitely kind of random. Oh, unfortunate, got a speed cap right at the end. That could be a bit of a hindrance, but let's hope he gets the unloaded gate. Ooh. Oh, tough luck. So he's gonna have to go for an ESC here to clip in. Nice first try. We'll see if Frozen fares any better. This could help him take the lead here. Oh, unfortunately, we're 2 for 2 on loaded gate. Looks like he's opting to reload and try the slide again. Boys, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that ragdoll that we saw from Trevor is a quick fix for the out-of-bounds wind bomb we're going to see in a bit here. Is that correct?
Yes, so I guess we should explain that. So every shield clip we do induces something called ragdoll glitch in this game, which means that when the next time you do a wind bomb, Link won't actually be able to ragdoll. There are a couple methods to get around this. You can either do another shield surf unequip, or you can like force ragdoll, where you saw Trevor do that. There is a secret strat though, might be for Switch 2, that you don't actually need to clear it and the wind bomb actually works.
Some arcane magic. Actually, it works, but only if you're Canadian, right, Moist?
Yeah.
So interesting, in terms of strategy here, Frozen decided to reload when he got loaded gate instead of going around or clipping in. And that actually gave Harm the lead over Frozen, so these guys are kind of neck and neck now. Despite the unfortunate cryo from Harm, he was able to catch up and surpass Frozen. And yeah, here's that wind bomb we were talking about out of bounds on Trevor's screen here. He's just flying through this run right now. Oh, looks like he broke his shield. Okay, I must have missed that. Thank you for the clarification. So yeah, that would require a reload. I guess not. You could technically go
the
around.
Copium route.
Yeah. The cloud route, as I call it. Because I can't be bothered to learn the clip inbounds. But here's our last wind bomb of the run from Trevor here. He's going to be heading to Sanctum, and we're going to be starting the 6-part or 5-part, depending on who you ask, boss rush against Wind Blight, Water Blight, Fire Blight, and Thunder Blight. Now we're going to be seeing him set up a trick here called Wind Blight Skip. So by aiming at this precise location and then buffering that shot as you step into the cutscene, what's going to happen is the first blight is going to spawn in, and that arrow is going to be active during the cutscene. Unfortunately, it looks like his aim was a bit off, or his position was a bit off. So he's going to go ahead and reload that. But what you should be seeing here is the arrow, since it's still loaded during the cutscene, it'll be placed precisely at the boss's weak point, like his blue eye there. And so you'll just be seeing him take continuous damage throughout the cutscene. So if you wait for the cutscene to play out, you can kill him before it even ends. But yeah, looks like Frozen got loaded gate a second time. Unfortunately, he's gonna be running around the back end here. That's about at least a 25-30 second time loss if you can swing it quickly. And if you watch Trevor's screen here, you'll see what we were talking about. Oh. Looks like the position was still a bit off. Windblade didn't quite take enough damage to get the full kill. So it looks like Trevor's going to be setting that one up again. The only major mistake in a very, very clean run from Trevor here. So while probably a bit frustrating, he's played very well so far. I know for me, when I'm on pace, my hands are always shaking, trying to set up that shot.
Is terrible.
It's tough. It's tough. Oh. Didn't have enough help. Maybe that's an intentional heal. But this is actually narrowing the playing field for some of our runners to catch up here. Oh, unfortunately, some not quite correct bomb placement from Harm on that wind bomb, so he's gonna kill himself to reset. In game. Another difference we're going to be seeing from our runners here is Trevor did this out of bounds route, what we call 3 Ancient Arrow route, which gets through castle much faster. But it makes the final boss fight just a bit harder, just a bit less lenient compared to what our other runners are doing the 6 Ancient Arrow route, which runs through castle a bit longer, but you get 3 extra Ancient Arrows, which do incredible damage against the boss, making the Calamity fight more lenient. And third try was the charm for Trevor on Windblight Skip. So, Moise, why don't you walk us through a little bit of this? What can we expect to see in terms of strategies for taking down the 4 blights, or the remaining 3 blights?
Alright, so a lot of it is spinning to winning, if you like gambling, perhaps. Yeah, so I think Trevor's going to be going for this fast cycle. So we can defeat all the blights in one cycle through careful weapon routing. We choose these weapons specifically so that they break pretty much like at the end of all these fights, right? Yeah. So yeah, here we see Trevor going to be shooting 5 arrows before knocking Water Blight down. And then if we spin backwards, we can get double hits.
Just one hit short. Gonna be ending off with a boom right here. It's about an 8-second time loss. Nothing too crazy. But he's got his backups ready. First try Windblight Skip from Frozen. And Harm. They've tightened the gap quite a bit here.
Yeah, most of the blights have pretty much similar RNG. There are little nuances that can happen, but pretty much what we do is the same from run to run.
And this part right here for Fire Blight, the spacing here is very tight and very important. You get in, standing in the proper spot and getting hits in the right spot. As Fire Blight's going to get up here and you're trying to get hits on either the body or the arm or both, but very well executed by Trevor there. And even within the blights themselves, there are differing strats to a degree that can make things a little bit more lenient at the cost of some speed. And looks like Klebs has dropped out of the race. Valiant effort by him for sure. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm wondering if we could maybe get one of our other runners up in the bottom right slot here to check in on how they're doing.
Ooh, also, this is where we use the attack up meal, like the mushrooms we got, to fight, because it does about 1.5 times damage per hit, which makes the fights a lot better.
So even it seemed like we went so far out of our way to grab those razor shrooms, it's more than worth it for these fights. And it makes the durability routing on the weapons a lot cleaner as well. But now here, Trevor's at the final gauntlet in Calamity Ganon, and we're going to be seeing our 3 ancient arrow strats. Oh, very nice quick rush from Trevor there. Saves just a couple seconds of animation cancel, but very flashy. So now he's going to be coming to the wall. We're going to be taking advantage of some extra weapons that are in the back of the room here on the wall in the Calamity boss fight. Firing as many bomb arrows as we can right into his head to get that headshot damage bonus, before going for a deadly laser parry. Oh no.
Deadly, perhaps.
Commentator curse. I'm so sorry, Trevor. But let's check in on some of our other runners while Trevor's getting set back up. And that has given Frozen the lead, actually, as he's now heading into Calamity fight. And I believe we're going to be seeing... Oh. Frozen's gone. Now we have Ilox and Draco Link on our bottom screen here. Draco Link, it looks like, is already into Dark Beast. So we missed the second half of the Calamity fight, but we'll get there eventually. Draco Link's about to finish off. Looks like he's our winner for today's race. All the way from left field. Let's check in on the race room. Yep, and there we go. Draco Link has finished with a time of 26:15. Very impressive showing from him. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see most of his race. But GG's and congrats to Draco Link for winning our qualifier today. But yeah, we're going to be seeing the 6 Ancient Arrow strat from Harm in the top left of your screen here. So it just makes it a little bit more lenient on damage. And this strat also requires basically the same sequence of events, getting a laser parry. Looks like he's gonna try to bait Calamity into giving him the laser. Unfortunately, he went to the wall, which is gonna cause some complications. Looks like Harm's grabbing a backup shield. Very smart and safe play there.
The fire is deadly in Calamity for some reason. Does,
It
like,
really
a
is.
whole
Ooh, very clean spear parry from Harm there. When Calamity goes to the wall in phase 1, he has like 10 or 12 or something different attacks he can throw out, and not all of them are parryable. So if you don't have an extra bow, there's no way to get him off the wall. You just gotta wait through the cycle. Fortunately for Harm, he got one of the I would consider the easier parry ones, the spear there, but still very well done. On to phase 2. And Frozen finishing off Calamity into Dark Beast. To talk a little bit about Dark Beast, we generally consider it a bit of a playable cutscene. It's on a cycle as Zelda gives you the Bow of Light and opens up these weak points for you to shoot. And we're going to see our runners be using audio cues from the background music to know when to kind of pre-fire their shots. So ideally, you shoot the arrow so it connects on the weak spot the very frame it appears. Now, obviously in practice that's a bit tough to do, but with the audio cues it makes it somewhat feasible. So this sequence takes about 2.5 minutes, and barring any unfortunate slip-ups, whoever is in the lead after Calamity will likely be the winner of the race. Looks like we're checking in. What's that?
I have died in Dark Beast before.
Oh man, you can get me to admit that on ZSR live stream. But it looks like we're checking in with another one of our runners, Zeldico. Oh, unfortunate death. I didn't even see what happened there. Wait, is this a clip? Are we watching a clip right now? think we're watching a clip. Either that or just replayed. Oh, gotcha. Okay, there we go. Looks like we're checking in on Eshek as well, working his way through Fire Blight. Oh, and it looks like, unfortunately, Trevor is going to drop out of our qual. Valiant effort by him. He was our lead racer off plat and into castle. Just some unfortunate mishaps in the boss rush. But huge GG's to Trevor as well.
Epic is also in Dark Beast.
Frozen's about to finish off the last shot here
È pervaso da un rancore maligno. In questo stato
to be our second place finisher.
qualsiasi attacco.
And there we go. Congrats to Frozen on second place in our quals today.
GG.
Ma non resisterò. Tu colpisci dove brilli. Buona fortuna, Link.
Looks like we got Epic and Harm also in Dark Beast right now. Checking in on some of our other runners. Got Ilux on the top right, working his way through Calamity Phase 1. These getting those headshots there on the wall is a bit tougher than it looks. I know we keep saying that, but it really is. These guys are making it look easy. Oh, unfortunately broke his shield. We are quite fortunate that there are things kind of that we can do here in the boss rush as backups. Oh no, and the fire claims another victim. Unfortunate.
No.
Well, I would be lying if I said I've never done that before. And Harm finishing off his run in style, jumping off the tree stump there. Congrats to Harm as our third place finisher in today's qualifier with a time of 31:15. Way to stay resilient and come back from a number of mishaps for him.
Did you just say Harm jumped off a stump to shoot?
He did unfortunate things to his horse, and then blew up a tree stump and got bullet time off the tree stump.
I actually
I'm not condoning the horse shenanigans.
I actually think jumping off the stump is faster.
Really?
Because jumping off the horse makes Link do like a somersault, which
Oh,
makes the
true.
animation longer.
But well, I guess it depends on how far the stump is away from the weak point, right? Because sometimes he turns and there's a tree right there, and sometimes the tree is super far. But I'm realizing that we never even talked about stun lock. So if you look at Eshek's screen on the bottom right here, we'll see him doing these spins and time slams. Well, I guess unfortunate timing for me to try to start explaining stun lock. But basically what you can hope to see there is he's got this shield that he puts up in phase 2 that you can't get any attacks through. So after a laser parry or another parry here... Oh no. Calamity has claimed yet another victim. But just really unlucky with these parries today. It's tough. It's tough. These guys are making it look easier than it is. Looks like Eshek's going to be dropping out of our qual as well, but huge congrats to him on a good showing. The boss rush is no joke, and we don't fault anybody for deciding to not go through that again. If you die at any point in Calamity or the Blights, you have to go all the way back to do Wind Blight skip and the whole entire boss rush again. So I certainly don't blame any of our racers for not wanting to continue. Another one falls to Calamity, unfortunately for Zeldico. Didn't get the shield out in time to hit the parry there on the phase 1 laser. So that's gonna put Ilox, I believe, as our next one up. working his way through Fire Blight. Very clean spins on phase 1 there. Let's see how his spins for Fire Blight phase 2 here go. Oh, looks like missed a couple hits on the arm. Oh, never mind. We got it. We're good. We're good. On the way to our last Blight Thunder here. So Moise, I'm curious, since you're one of our top runners for this category, which of the blights would you consider to be the most difficult, outside of Wind Blight, of course?
In terms of like the strats?
Yeah.
Probably Water Blight. There's a lot more going on, whereas the other ones you kind of just spin. I would say, so for Water Blight can either go to the door or the throne. Second phase. If Water Blight does go to the door, that's probably the harder one because you gotta alternate shots between the head and the body. So you can.
But it is a bit quicker, right? If he goes to the other side.
Yeah.
The door side.
The door is faster, yeah.
He falls faster, you can get in your spins quicker. It's interesting because I think a lot of us, or myself included, in our casual playthrough probably struggled the most with Thunder Blight. But in my experience as a runner, I feel like Thunder Blight's probably the simplest one out of the four, or the three that we actually fight. But it's true, this boss rush is no joke. It's an absolute gauntlet. There are so many failure points that either...
I think you die one shot to anything.
Sometimes in these race settings, we'll see some runners, if we're running Amiibo, they'll scan extra fish to try to get a hardy fish to give them basically the ability to survive an extra hit during the boss rush. Obviously with no Amiibo, that's not going to be possible, making it a bit more difficult. Unfortunately, Ilox got Calamity going to the wall in phase 2. Let's send him our good luck in chat to get this parry. Oh no! Unfortunate. That right there, that laser blast that Wind Blight does, that Calamity has for phase 2, that's the one I hate to see the most. If he goes to the wall in phase 2, I'm praying that I don't see that laser hit. That's, in my opinion, that's the toughest one to parry. But it looks like Ilox is not gonna quit just yet. He's gonna give it another try at Wind Blight Skip and the boss rush. And yeah, losing your shield there, if you miss that first parry, your shield breaks, you literally don't have enough time to do anything before the next laser already connects. So there's really nothing you can do in that scenario, which is unfortunate. But that has put Zelda back in the lead here. I'm wondering if he lost his boomerang. Looks like he's running around trying to find it. A bit unfortunate. The strat for Thunderblight phase 2 here is throw the boomerang to break his shield, and then either throw it again, or shoot him down with an arrow, and then you can break his shield, and then just spin to win from there. But without the boomerang, it makes things a bit more difficult. I wonder at what point he might just resort to grabbing one of the metal pillars to shock him down.
He has it in his inventory.
Oh, really?
Where?
Oh. It's like when you're looking all over your glasses and they're on top of your head the whole time. Or worse, on your face. And you see, once we finally located the boomerang, Thunderblight's down just like that. So let's send some good luck and pray in chat for Zeldico and Ilox here as they try to finish up. We're going to see the 6 ancient arrow strat just immediately firing all of them off into his head. What this does, it means that when we pick up the bomb arrow, we won't have to do an extra menuing to swap over. It'll just auto-equip for us. And it looks like he's going to grab some backup weapons here as well, because his attack food's about to run out, just due to the unfortunate circumstance during Thunderblade. But still going for these headshots here. Watching out for the laser. Alright, wasn't able to react in time. Let's see if he can get in some backups here. Oh, unfortunate. That vertical chop right there, you really can't just run away. You gotta parry or flurry rush if you're that close. Because that attack does lock onto you. Unfortunately, Calamity has claimed another victim. And it looks like that might be the end of the road here for Zeldico. Doesn't look like they will be giving the boss rush another attempt. So in that case, let's send all of our love and good luck over to Ilox taking down Thunderblight.
Hopefully.
And just to mention too, runners dropping out of this race, it doesn't really negatively affect their standing all that much, because it does take your top times. So if you DNF, it just doesn't count as a time towards seeding. A lot of our runners have done quals earlier in the week, or there's one later today, and I think there's some tomorrow as well. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But either way, it's not very punishing for these runners to drop out. So no harm, no foul to them if they decide to cut their losses and go for it another day. And it looks like Ilox was successfully able to execute the first part of phase 1 here, baiting Calamity into a slam, giving himself enough time to run and grab the bomb arrows, getting off these shots here while he sidles over to pick up the Royal Claymore. Laser parry coming up here. Unfortunately, timing was a bit off there, but you should be able to bait him into another one. There we go. Very nice. Now to end off the phase here, hopefully if we had enough damage in, getting these double hits with the Royal Guard's Claymore, throwing it up. Unfortunately, not quite enough damage. Calamity's gonna go to the wall here, so we'll see how he can back this up. Oh, there's that scary attack again. I do not blame him for running away. Oh, the tornado. Yeah, again, there's a lot of these attacks in phase 1. You just can't do anything but run around and try to avoid them. But let's send Ilox all of our love. He's getting the worst of the worst here. Calamity came back down of his own accord. Very kind of him. And so what Ilox is doing is running away to try to bait a laser parry, but unfortunately it doesn't always work, and Calamity went back to the wall. Unfortunate. But he's been resilient thus far. Let's hope he can get through this phase. Or
Okay.
didn't want to deal with it. Hey, I respect it.
Valid.
I respect it. Just incredibly unfortunate RNG there as well. Calamity goes up to the wall, does like 4 or 5 bull crap attacks, jumps down, 1 flurry rush right back to the wall. You hate to see it. But that'll be the end of our qualifiers. Huge GG's to everybody, whether they finished or not. Let's give a round of applause for all of our incredible runners here, putting in the effort to come out here and grind out this incredibly difficult run. And I really can't overstate enough just how tough this run is. So huge ups to all of our runners who came out today, whether they ended up finishing